Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I'm using a new camera. I have an external microphone finally. But today's video is a little bit different from like fashion and normal lifestyle. It is a travel vlog and a walkthrough. So if you are interested in the Ark Encounter, the Noah's Ark replica that's in Kentucky, and also the Creation Museum in Kentucky, then you'll probably enjoy this video. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of the entire Ark and of the Creation Museum as well. I didn't get every single detail of either of these locations. I can't say that I covered everything, but I did the best that I could. I traveled with a group, my family and several other people. We all traveled together and we had a wonderful time. We made a weekend out of it and we went to the Ark Encounter on one day. We went to the Creation Museum on the other day, and we used 2 days to travel there one day and then back one day. So it was really like a 4-day trip. It was a beautiful experience. And if you're interested in a walkthrough of the Ark replica and the Creation Museum, then I hope you keep watching. Okay, so the Ark is located, I have the address right here. It's at 1 Ark Encounter Drive in Williamstown, Kentucky. And the Creation Museum is at 2800 Bulletsburg Church Road in Petersburg, Kentucky. So we'll get started with the Ark Encounter first, and I'm going to just insert a map right here to show you what the entire place looked like. And of course, we started at the bottom right corner in the area where it says bus drop off or something like that. We took a bus to travel as our group. So our group traveled on a bus. We stayed in a hotel, and we just went to the different places as we were staying. So the bus brought us to the actual parking lot. Then we got on a shuttle, like a little shuttle van that brought us to the welcome center of the Ark. And then as you see, there's like an arch there. And that's the first walkthrough where we actually enter into the campus where the Ark is. And then there's just landscape all throughout. And like I said, I'm going to go through everything. So over to the right, the first thing we saw was zip lines. And the zip lines required an extra fee in order to ride on those. You had to like purchase tickets. I won't give the prices because who knows if they'll change at any time, but of course you can look into that if you're interested. So the zip lines were over to the right, and as we continued up, there were some areas where you could take pictures. There's different little locations. They have like these little stands built so you can either put your face into one or you can stand behind something, and it just gives you a nice little backdrop for some photos if you want to take those as souvenirs. Of course, they had gift shops all throughout. That's always going to be the case. But yeah, those were all available, the picture stands. And then as we kept walking, of course, we reached the Ark. There was a little pathway to get through there, and then there was like that zigzag line thing in order to like enter the museum to like make the line organized. But it wasn't very busy the day that we went. We went in August 2024, and yeah, so it was a nice time, not too crowded, very easy to see everything. So as we traveled up the little ramp thing, we entered officially into the Ark, and there were 3 levels to the Ark. So I'm going to insert here what the levels had on each one of them in case you want to pause the video and look at them and see the map as well as the layout of the Ark. So as we entered into the Ark, of course, we're seeing all the different things, and then I'm just going to do a voiceover for majority of that part. So again, I'm going to start the walkthrough now, and I hope you like it. I hope you stay through the end, and I'll see you in the next one.
הספינה של השמיים, אנו מבקשים את רחמך בסופה נוראית זו. רעת עננים לבנות צפונות, שומרת משפחתי וחיות שלי.
So this area had all vases, jars, and canisters. They lined the walls. This is the Ark storage area and the introduction to animal kinds. So there were caged fake animals all along one side here and then all throughout. And here we're coming up on a Noah's Ark model. So in a glass case was a little model replica of the Ark. And then this area showing about animal kinds as well. Of course, there were snack bars all over. And then here we're going up the ramp to the second level. They had scooters available for people who couldn't walk through the Ark or through the outside landscape as well. And they had them available at the Creation Museum. Restrooms were off to the sides. Just a lot of walking through. There were signs, scriptures on the walls. A lot to read and go through. So here we're looking at some more animals and possibly the way they were fed. So they had platforms built where they imagined that Noah and his family would stand above and kind of pour the food down for the animals. And it was really interesting to see how the animal kinds were actually distinguished. And here we're seeing canvases of the pre-flood world. As well as some realistic scenes. There were some 3D scenes that were really, really nice. And then we came out from that area. We're back at animal care. And of course, animal kinds. So of course, the same things throughout. Just a look at the upper levels and how lighting might have come in through the Ark. More animal kinds. And of course, we know that Noah didn't bring in every single animal that we see today. He just brought in kinds. So that was heavily emphasized. They had a theater area here with seating and TV monitors. This section was called the Noah Interview Theater. There was advertisement for a Christian music festival. Over here was a kids' spooky animal encounters area. I went through there. It wasn't all that. It was kind of dark and hard to record. Now we're looking at some more methods of feeding, animal care, animal kinds. So this is one of the kinds that was mentioned. And then this area here showed how they possibly managed water and waste and how the Ark was lit. The lighting, ventilation. And now we're in the area of like the family where the humans would be. So Noah's study, library here. a workshop, a blacksmith shop. Then here was a lot of details about who Noah was. This was the fairy tale Ark area. It had a display of Ark books for little kids. And then there was a snack bar and a gift shop. They sold some peanut brittle or some kind of candy and chocolate. I think they sold fudge. There was all kinds of little treats all around. And this was the Ark door. This was on the second level. And here we're going up the ramp to the third level. There was a lot of reading to do, so it was a biblical authority area, asking if we can trust the Bible, talking about how we can trust the Bible and why we can. So that was detailed in a lot of different areas. Again, a lot of reading to do, so you would have to spend quite a bit of time just reading through all the things on the walls. We definitely didn't cover this entire place the way we could have if we had more time. It was kind of like, it was an emphasis on the youth. So our kids were looking through everything and they had a great time. So it was nice for them to see it. And now we're entering into the living quarters of Noah and his family. So this area shows Japheth and his wife. The sign for this one shows it's for Shem and his wife. This shows like the food supply for the humans on the ark. And then we have some more living quarters. This area here shows Ham and his wife. More animals. I think these were birds. And then walking back over here, this is Ham's area, according to the sign there. And Noah's area here. And then there was another theater area over to this side, and it said that this one was the As in the Days of Noah theater. This section over here was called the flood geology area. And now we're just looking at food supplies again. The flood geology area was here. There was ancient man over in this section, and ice age. And then there was an area that it showed arks from around the world. So I guess the way people in other areas of the world envisioned the ark and the way they depicted it in their craftsmanship. This last one was Asia and Africa, I believe, but I didn't show the sign there. And this was Voyage of a Book through here. So this had a lot of little random things, I felt like, so it was hard to really capture everything. So I'm just showing it quickly, all the little parts here. There was a lot of reading in this area to really understand what each of these scenes represented. Then we reached the elevator. We went out of the Ark, so this is where we exited, and there's a picture taking area there, but this is just an idea of how the Ark looked on this side. And here we are going to the back area. So we're going up the map, and then behind the Ark was the Ararat Ridge Zoo. They had just a small amount of animals, but they did have this kangaroo walkthrough, so you could be, like right with the kangaroos. And so that was a nice little area there. And then walking further back, there was a barn here. We didn't go in there, so I'm not sure if they probably had some goats and sheep and things like that. This area over here was where you could ride a camel. This was where you did have to pay an additional fee for that. It was $10 when we went. And then over here was the junior zoo adventure, and you could do fossils. So they gave you a block of thick mud, I guess, and you just soak it down into the water and then comes out with these nice rocks. You do have to pay an extra fee to do that. Here were some sheep and goats. They did some training with them. There were some pigs here. This was, again, the junior area, so I guess a lot of kids like to be in this area, and I think it was a petting zoo as well. They had this emu, a donkey, a few donkeys, I think. And this was a giant anteater. And so now we're coming down the map on the left side. Passing the barn again on the right, and then up here on the left is an outdoor theater. So I'm pretty sure they had a lot of things that you can look at the schedule and see what they were going to be showing there. And they had the picnic benches over here because they had a lot of areas where you could get food and then just sit out and eat. And then here was the food area. So they had this place called Mzara's Buffet. The buffet had chicken, pot roast, mashed potatoes, and that kind of food. And then they had a Noah's Village, which sold things like pizza, burgers, tacos, and ice cream and stuff like that. So you had choices there. This was a playground. Our kids loved this area. They had a covered picnic table area where we just sat and watched the kids play. They had mist that sprayed out. It was very refreshing. And then this is back around towards the entrance again. Over to the right was a virtual reality area. There was an 11-minute little show that you could watch, and there was an extra fee for that, so you did have to purchase additional tickets for the virtual reality. But behind that was a carousel. It was just a basic carousel. I didn't even film that actually. And here we saw some people outside of the Ark, but when I went to inquire about this, I was told that these were big time donors and that they were the only ones that had that experience. It was not open to the public. And then here's a quick picture of me and my family, and then me and my friend. And then we took a group picture of all of us, which I don't share here, but that was it, and we left. So now we're coming up on the Creation Museum, and this is what we did the following day. So we entered into the Creation Museum parking lot. This is actually just the welcome center. This isn't even the museum yet. They also had a zip line, which you had to purchase extra tickets for. The map showed that there was a zoo on site, but it was temporarily closed because it was being upgraded. There was a big playground, same as the Ark. And when you enter the welcome center, there was a snack bar, a bookstore, gift shop, all that kind of thing. And then you just exit out those back doors there. And then this is like the area where you kind of walk through. So this is a pathway up to the museum. There were botanical gardens over to the right, which I did not explore, but this is us just walking up to the actual museum. And when we first walked in, there's like a marketplace area is what the map describes it as. Then there's some areas as an introduction to dinosaurs and dragons. This museum focused heavily on dragons as well as dinosaurs to emphasize that they did really exist. And to the right over here was the information desk. And then the planetarium was over to the left. There was also a snack bar to the right. There was actually a 4D show playing at the planetarium as soon as we got there. So when we found out that it was going to be starting soon, we just jumped in line. This is the line here, and we're just all going to the end of it. And we go in and see the 4D show. I think it was about 10 or 12 minutes long. And then here it is. We're walking through the museum. There's like a biblical authority area. There's an area discussing the differences between evolution and creation, the relevance of Genesis, background information about how the Bible deals with creation versus what a lot of people think about evolution. And then in through here was the creation area. It showed depictions of the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, the animals. And then here is the corruption area, and it just shows how the world got corrupted. And it shows evidence of corruption.
Cain, you know, the one who killed his brother Abel. Through the line of Cain came industry, metalworking, music, art. But along the way, they forgot all about God and just chose to live their own way.
The museum also had a lot of Ark information, so it showed things related to building the Ark and other Ark details. This was a lot of other Ark details as well, smaller scale replicas of the Ark, how it probably looked while it was being built. The different rooms inside, how it probably looked when it was on the water. And then here is a depiction of Noah. And then it just shows the catastrophe with the flood and life after the flood. Then there's some information about Babel. This was the confusion. Once again, the museum had a lot of things to read, so of course I wasn't going to like go through everything on the walls, but if you just stay in there for a length of time and just read through a lot of the stuff, it's just very informative. Here is the gift shop. They had a lot to offer. Of course, food. This is the food court. This was another area that talked about Israel in the time of Jesus. And then here was a creation area that talked about development of a baby and how babies are formed in the womb and their development. This area here, I'm going up behind the food court or above the food court, was a big dinosaur area. And then we went to see a reptile show. And then once the show was over, it was time for us to go. So we headed out, and that was the end of our time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
Now I have to put him somewhere. Alan's neck. It's a great idea. Me and Alan, I thought they liked you. Alan's neck is full, but I have an idea. Somebody told me Alan had a big head.